outcome reporting. We focused on outputs and brought out the different weaknesses that also come with output reporting. We'll also introduce the outcome reporting. This presentation now is focused on the various categories or various outcome statements that couch a proper outcome story. The first one being the who component, the second one, the what component, the third one, the where component, and the fourth one, the when component. The who component is focused on who is changed. It has emphasis on the different types of social actors in whom we see the change. So it might be an individual, group, community, organization, or institution. But we just want you to state where we see the change. If we want to see the change, whom do we look at? Do we look at an individual? Do we look at a group? Do we look at a community? Do we look at an organization? Or we look at an institution? It points us to where the change is. What? The what component is focused on what is changed. We want to know for each actor that we have identified. We also need to identify the specific change that occurred. Was it a change in their behavior, in the way that they were doing things? Was it a change in the policies? Was it a change in the activities? Was it a change in the relationships? We want to know what the change was. And the key questions also to focus on in this particular outcome statement is we also want to look at what is the observable, verifiable change that can be seen in the social actor. We need to be able to observe it, we need to be able to verify it, and we need to also look at something or the significance of it. So the first component of this key question is that it has to be observable, it has to be verifiable. The importance of documentation. Even in our logical frameworks, we have got means of verification. Those means of verification, to some extent, should be able to give us that evidence that we need to verify, and we should be able to observe the change. And we also need to look at the significance of the change. How significant is the change? Is it worth mentioning? Is it worth the resources? This is also now where we now tie it up with the value for money component or the value for money concept. Does it have value for money? You pump in $10 million and you have a change that is worth $10,000. Is it worth it? Is it significant? Looking at the ratio and the balance between inputs and the results, do they tie up? Was it worth it, or is it worth it for us to continue doing this? Is it sustainable? Does it make business sense? Does it make economic sense? Because what happens is when funding partners are giving us their money, they are buying results. It's like when I go into a store, when I want to buy something, I want to buy something to which I feel that the value of my dollar that I put in is worth the result or is worth the item that I'm getting. So whatever the case, the funding partners are buying results from us by giving us the funds. So we should give them the results. They are buying results from us. We should then give them significant results, results that are worth their money. So those are the two key questions for us to focus on in the what component. The where component, it essentially looks at where the change happened. That's the campus. We need a campus. We need to know where to go. We need to know where we will get the results. If we want to verify the results, where is it? Where is the place? So it can be a political or geographical location where the change happened. Was it in a specific village? Was it in a specific town? Was it a whole district or a whole country? But we need to be as specific as possible. We do not want a statement that says a man in this particular district used to beat up his wife, but through our intervention he has changed. Where do we find that man if we want to verify? Where do we find the change? So we need to be as specific as possible to the dot. If possible, let us look at the geographical location, or let us define the where component as much as we can so that it becomes easy even for external evaluators to find the change or to identify the change. When reflects or it speaks to dates, periods, and time, we need to show when the change changed. We need to demonstrate. And the when component also can be used even for quality assurance purposes. We can even use it to predict or to model, to say we begin to see changes in attitude and behaviors for these particular changes after so many months of implementation. And it's also important for quality assurance because sometimes people claim changes that occurred way before the project started. You find that some people they recycle images, different donors. This donor is given the same image, another donor is given the same image, or a donor is given images of interventions that happened even before the project. So it is always important for us to speak to timelines and timeframes. What are then the reflections around this? We have noticed the importance of outcome reporting. We have seen the weaknesses of output reporting, and we have been capacity developed on the 4 outcome statements that we need to respond to if we want to couch a proper outcome statement. The key thing that comes out is that an outcome should show observable and explainable change. We should be able to observe the change. We should be able to explain the change. And we should be able to attribute or to show our contribution to the change. Attribution and contribution are important because the moment we fail to do that, it means that we are stealing someone's results, we are stealing someone's outcomes. For further questions and further explanations, kindly feel free to approach me on my email so that we can also